Hello, this is Lee Anthony Davis doing a live stream watch along. Hope you can join me. As you know, today is Doctor Who's 60th birthday. So I chose this day particularly because this is the time and day to do it. And so I've chosen my favourite adventure from the Jon Pertwee era, The Planet of the Spiders. What I'll do is I'll do all 6 episodes today. I'm starting off in a moment with the first one. So I hope you would have a video or DVD player and you can watch it as well. So anyway, I'm going to get on with it and start the first episode of Doctor Who Planet of the Spiders Part 1. Here we go. Having trouble? Yeah, have you? I will be describing it as I go along. Right, so here we go, the intro music. As soon as it comes on, I will turn the sound down, all right? So I'll have to explain it to you as I go along. So as you remember, with Jon Pertwee, we got the intro music and the diamond sort of a kaleidoscope effect. Planet of Spiders, here we go. Just about to go into it now. I'm going to turn it down. Right, here we go. Mike Yates is walking down a path and he is basically having a look around, noticing the cows in the field. Then he moves, and then suddenly we cut to the Doctor and the Brigadier at some sort of show. They're part of the audience. And I think Jon Pertwee is waiting for a particular guest to come on. I think the Brigadier is a bit bored. John turns his head at him, sort of, oh, what? Are you surprised? You know, right, we cut back to Mike Yates walking towards the meditation centre. Then we come back to the Doctor with the clapping and everything in the audience. The Brigadier says, "What are we here for?" And the Doctor puts his hand up like that and says, "Right, here you go." And then a belly dancer comes on. And the Brigadier really is intrigued and interested in that one. So anyway, Mike Yates is walking down the hall in the meditation centre. He hears some noise, something like chanting in the cellar. So he goes to the door and he opens it. I don't really need to describe that. And he hears what apparently is a chant. Now, I wrote it down here. It is Om Mani Babli Om. Om Mali Babli Om. Apparently, Barry Letts was into Buddhism and he added that in deliberately. Now, the chant got a complaints from all the audiences. Letters were written with complaints to Barry about that this is not an evil chant. This is a chant that means worship the Buddha. But Barry put that in deliberately to basically say even evil men use good things for their own ends. So that was deliberate, he said. Right now, Captain Yates is creeping down the cellar. We see 4 people round the Magdala. If you don't know what that is, it's like a mat and it's got these symbols on, and they sort of meditate like this, saying Om Mali Babli Om and all that. It's starting to glow. Captain Yates puts his face in a cobweb, knocks over a candle and runs out the door, and then it disrupts the pattern of the meditation these 4 people were doing. And this is headed by Lupton, played by John Dirth. But we now cut back to the Brigadier and, of course, the Doctor, Jon Pertwee. Now, this is the bit he's been waiting for. He's actually waiting for this clairvoyant called Professor Clegg, who is has more to clairvoyancy than meets the eye. He's actually a powerful telekinesis, which means you've got the ability to move things with your mind. and that's what he's come to investigate. So he's come to the show to see him. Right, now we're moving to another scene here. This is John Durf, who is Lupton, and he's saying, could it be a door or the wind that disrupted us? Then he says, no, there's only one person with a car here, our friend Mr. Yates, as he drives off. And then we've got a cut scene back to the Brigadier with the Doctor as he welcomes Professor Clegg. Professor Clegg has no idea why he's there, but John will explain it as he goes along. He's asking, do you want me to do an act for you? And Brigadier says, good Lord, no. It's probably all good stuff. And that's what he says. And Professor Clegg touches his bow tie. John, the Doctor, is sitting down. And he wants him to do something for him, which is to do something like read his mind and all that, or basically odds and ends that come with this sort of act. And then the professor says, I'm a fraud. It was just a message between me and my assistant, you know. And the Doctor says, I promise I won't tell everyone that you are a powerful clairvoyant. And it's obviously revealed that he obviously has the ability to do other things as well, because he says, what caught you out was you knew the answer. You said out the answer before your assistant said the question. And then he begins to reveal that the power he's got is driving him insane. And the Doctor says, I can assure you that this is no affliction you've got. This is something that's everyone's got it, apparently. But Barry Letts actually did this basically to bring in an episode. He wanted to do somewhere along the line Buddhism, because Barry Letts, who's the producer, was into Buddhism, and he wanted to include something like that into this one. And how appropriate in John's final adventure about using something like Buddhism for evil purposes, you know, for meditation and drawing in other forces and energies. So anyway, we're going to see something which is special effects by the BBC, the budget that they usually use. And we're going to see the table. He's going to ask Professor Clegg to use his telekinesis powers to move a tray with a cup on it and bring it over across the floor, lifting it up. So he's doing it now. As you can see, it's not bad special effects for 1974. There it goes. But you can tell it's a sort of, I think it's a super overlay effect. Right now, he can't keep it up, so it drops onto the floor. There you go. The Brigadier says, that's brilliant. You should use that in your act. What? And then the Professor says, what, lose my insanity as well? I don't think so. John wants him to do some other stuff. Professor Clegg agrees. And basically, we're about to see other things that he's going to do. But at this particular moment, we're going to have Sergeant Benton coming through the door with a package. And this is where it all starts. The package, obviously, is a blue crystal. But anyway, I'll get into that in a minute. Here we got Joe G, played by Kevin Lindsay. If you know Kevin Lindsay, he was also the Sontaran in The Time Warrior. He plays a Buddhist monk in this called Joe G. And he's talking to Lupton, who's not happy that Mike Yates has brought in Sarah Jane, a journalist. He doesn't want, he says, I've come here for solitude. And he says, the Buddhist says, we will all learn to walk with solitude in a built-up public place. I'm sure that would work, yeah. So he goes through the door. Lupton has to do something. He has to frighten off both Yates and Sarah Jane to stop them coming. But he gets in his nice sports car there. He's got a sports car now, Captain Yates. This is all to do with his problem with the invasion of the dinosaurs, where he turns traitor or is misguided, and he's sort of taken out of the army, and this is his best way of sort of compensating for what he did, and trying to find himself. So anyway, he's got a story for Sarah Jane. There's something going on more than meditation, he says. This is John Kane, plays Tommy. He's sort of retarded. He's sort of simple, if you want to put it in those terms. And he's now come out of the door, and he's speaking to Barnes and Lupton, but he's grabbed Barnes' arms. Look, mister, he says, look, mister. I'm going to tell you a story about John Kane in a minute. You'll quite enjoy this, but anyway, John Kane is pushed to the floor by Barnes, and then we cut to the scene of a Sarah Jane and Captain Mike, well, not Captain Yates anymore, Mike Yates, talking about what's this all about. She says she wants to be convinced that there's more to this meditation. So anyway, Mike takes her. We're just seeing them drive now. Now, I like Elizabeth Sladen's hairstyle. It's sort of basin, isn't it, in a way? I think it's to do with the times, the sign of the times of the mid-70s. Remember, they've all got long hair. Even the Brigadier has got long hair. So it was a sort of pattern that went around there. Now we move on to the mandala. This is where they're chanting again. Now Lupton wants to channel energy to give the illusion that there are things as they're driving, Mate Yates and of course Elizabeth Sladen, that, or should I say Sarah Jane, that there's a tractor coming towards them. And it isn't. It's just basically an illusion. It's trying to convince them not to come, sort of thing. So here we go. And Sarah Jane says, I'm convinced. So we go with the bali 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 all four of them around there. You've got also Christopher Burgess, who plays Barnes. Christopher Burgess, as you know, has been in Doctor Who 2 times before. He was in The Enemy of the World, which was basically directed by Barry Letts, and he also appeared in Terror of the Autons as well. He played the guy that was about to blow the Doctor up with a bomb, and then he decides he knew who he was in the end. The Master hypnotized him, obviously, to do it. But here we are. The tractor, the illusionary tractor, comes into view, and they nearly crash. So they're on the side of the road now, and Sarah Jane says, "I'm convinced." Right, we cut back to the clairvoyance sort of experiments. The Doctor's got a monitor. He's got the professor's got headphones on, so he can sort of concentrate with his thoughts or whatever it is. And he's asked the Doctor's asked the Brigadier to give him his watch and describe everything about it. So here we go. He's describing that this is a present given to him by a woman called Doris to show his gratitude. And as he carries on, the Brigadier interrupts him and says, yes, that's all correct. Yes, thank you. And the Doctor looks at him and says, looks like we've got more than we needed. Okay. Right, so we move on. This is where Sergeant Benson comes through the door and brings this package. Now, this package is obviously the Metabilis crystal. Obviously, Joe. It's a good reference to have Joe Grant sort of mentioned in this. You know, she's not in it anymore, obviously, but they actually no. This is where the Doctor hands him the sonic screwdriver, and on the monitor appears the images of what he sees. What this screwdriver has been going through, and he sees this Drashig on the Drashig that appeared in the Carnival of Monsters in 1973, and the Doctor's there with his sonic screwdriver trying to make the marsh gas explode, and you see all these fire and you see the Drashigs three together heads like that. So it's on the monitor screen. Now we've cut back to Joji, Sarah Jane, and Mike Yates. She's doing her interview to Joji and basically asking questions. And also she asks him, can it be used for evil purposes? You know, and Joji replies, only if their intent is evil. What does that mean? They're either going to be evil or they're going to be good. But yeah, anyway, so we're getting to this point where she's doing her interview, and basically she's trying to find out about the meditation. So he goes off and he says, she asks him a question. She asks him a question about, is meditation, can it be used for evil purposes? And he says, Joji, yes, it can be used for evil purposes, but the techniques that we use here prevent people doing it, and which is obviously rubbish, because there's 4 people down in the cellar chanting Mali Bali Om to draw in whatever force or energy. We know it's a spider, or the planet of spiders. So anyway, here we go. We got Private Benton, or Sergeant Benton. He's got this package, as I said. He says it's either to the Brigadier, it's either to Captain Yates, who's no longer there, it's either for the Doctor or Private Benton. Private Benton, I think he's still there. RSM Benton, whatever. And the Doctor says, no, I've got a better idea. Why don't we give it to Professor Clegg to describe what's inside that package? So anyway, he fills it. He says it's come a long way. It's blue. And then Brigadier says, good Lord, it's not that crystal, is it? So anyway, Professor Clegg describes what's in the package. And is about, and the Doctor will open it and to reveal the Metabilis crystal. Excuse me, I'm having a cigarette, not a joint. All right, I thought I'd point that out. Right, okay. Now we cut to Mike and Sarah Jane again. They are in the hallway, and she wants to have a look inside. There's a message saying, meditation, please be quiet. So she convinces Mike to have a look inside, and it's all normal. They're all chanting, meditating, and she asks, what are they chanting at? Well, basically their belly button. So anyway, she has a look. They're looking for the door. They're all in there, including Lupton and all his little, shall I say, circle, amongst with the other practicing Buddhists or whatever it is. And it's all done on the tape, all this chanting. As you see the tape rolling round. Okay then, so they're having a look. Sarah Jane says, you sure this is a story about some people chanting? There's nothing special about this. And then Captain Mike, I keep saying Captain Yates, he's no longer Captain, he got defrocked after Invasion of the Dinosaurs. He's now Mike Yates. Anyway, they come away. Let's see, now they're walking through the hallway. Sarah Jane wants to be convinced, and now this is where Lupton and his friends come round the corner. And there you go. It's Lupton and Barnes. And Lupton asks Sarah Jane, does she want a cup of tea? Or she must have been parched. She's travelled a long way. Captain Yates, Mike Yates, is trying to pull her away because she doesn't know who he is. Basically, it was Mike Yates realizes he was using some sort of force to force them off the road, sort of give her mental pictures in front of them that nearly caused them to crash into a tree. So anyway, here we are. Captain Yates, well, I keep saying, all right, I'll have to say Captain Yates if I say it by accident. So anyway, she's trying to say yes. He's saying no. He pulls her away, and Lupton says that young man is scared. So we can continue tonight. Get the mandala ready. So Captain Mike Yates and Sarah Jane race out the door, and then she wants to know what's going on. Why have you pulled me out? As he's driving, and he says that's Lupton. He says, "Oh, that's Lupton, is it?" Says, "Yeah, I can see why you pulled me out." So Lupton is. We've got come back to Lupton and Barnes again. Lupton says, "You can see that young man is scared out of his wits." And then then we cut back to Sarah Jane. She says she had to wear this hat, but there's no way you could wear a hat in a moving speed racing car because it'll blow off. So she had to take it off for the scene. So you just see her with her hair blowing all over the place. And he says, she says, why are we running away then? She says, so he says, we're not. We're just parking here, and then we're going to go back through the window. So anyway, they're going to walk back on foot, back to the meditation centre, where Lupton and his little circle will be doing the, shall I say, the chanting, the evil chanting, to bring in whatever force or power that he's looking for from this. Right, we cut back to the Doctor now. He's reading the message on the letter with where the blue crystal came in from that package. There it is. The Professor picks it up and starts looking at it. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, this sort of hurricane or wind or everything blows everywhere. And it's a powerful force. It seems like someone else is redirecting energy from somewhere, because apparently the crystal's not evil. And we cut to Tommy and Sarah Jane and Mike breaking what you could say, breaking in through the window. Tommy says, "Hello, mister, what are you up to?" And then Sarah introduces herself to young Tommy. Obviously is a little bit sort of backward, horrible thing to say, but he is. I was going to tell you a bit about John Cain. Now, John Cain, the actor here, is actually became a writer, and he was the first person to write the first episode of Terry and June. So John Cain did a few more stories for Terry and June, but he wrote the very first episode of Terry and June that was launched in September 1979. That's Terry Scott and June Whitfield. So it was a popular comedy series in the in the late 70s, early 80s, or should I say mid 80s. So anyway, now you know who John Cain is. Right, John. Now Mike and Sarah are going down to the cellar. It looks like Lupton and his syndicate are not there yet, so they're going to find a place to hide and see what they're up to. There's the mandala. It's already laid out with the 4 cushions for them to sit on. I've counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 round the mandala. So they've got these symbols to go boom, and they get straight into it. So they found a hiding place, and here comes Lands, Barnes, the rest of the others, and Lupton. As soon as they sit down, he picks up these thimbles, bang, om Mali Oli om. Right, we cut back to the Professor, and suddenly the blue light, the blue crystal he's looking at, starts to glow, and then suddenly we get this big, massive wind or hurricane or whatever it is. It's obviously a force that's been redirected by that. And now we look at the mandala again with the 4, and they are something's starting to happen with that. It's starting to glow again. The Doctor is the only one that's trying to move towards Professor Clegg to grab the crystal out of his hand. He just about manages it, and then the Professor sadly dies. Whatever that was channeled has killed him, because it was the last thing he saw. It must have been too much for him. It was caused by Lupton and his cronies doing this chant to bring in this evil. Right, now, They're about to, there's Sarah Jane with a sort of terror look on her face. And then suddenly, there it is. The spider has materialized on the mandala mat. Right, that's the end of the first part. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back at in about 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock for my second part of Planet of the Spiders. I hope you enjoyed that. It's quite fun. I like doing these. I haven't done one of these for 2 years. I did have somebody watching, but I really appreciate if you have a video or DVD player, watch it, and so you'll know what I'm describing. So thank you for watching. I'll be back about 9 o'clock for the second part of Planet of the Spiders. So stay tuned, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.